But the essence of READ remains the same to me, and that's the conference system, where just three simple questions asked of anybody. What do you mean? Why do you say that? And what's the evidence to support your position? This is the essence, as far as I'm concerned, is you can't BS. You have to have your facts, and you have to learn how to speak, and you have to learn how to think, and you have to learn how to write. The opportunity, to, of course, to know your professors, and them to know you, and that they care about you. Independent study in the sciences, being able to work in the labs. My senior thesis at Reed, I was able to do a project that was far more extensive than what I did in medical school, and learning to express oneself verbally and in writing. How did Reed define me? In the oral history project, I remember I asked, what do you remember most about Reed? I remember most about being in the chorus of the Pirates of Penzance and being a four-year letterman. At Reed, you had to play two sports to get a letter, and I was in tennis and basketball, and I say the reason I loved basketball, but I was too short and too bad a player. But at Reed, you had, one of the rules is if you turned out, you had to play, and so they did. I remember, and when you asked me about the school, I remember stuff like that, of a wonderful skiing on Mount Hood, student government, political activism, stretching my mind. I had a humanities professor, Bill Alderson, who was a Shakespeare scholar. He appeared in all the Gilbert and Sullivan operas. He was Bunthorne in Patience. And one day he gave this assignment and said, here is the picture by Ghirlandaio of St. Jerome. I want you to go analyze this picture and write a paper and bring it back the next day. Everybody get this assignment. What? Crazy. What are you I don't know what to say. I don't know. But I took myself to the library and struggled and looked at the painting and actually did it. And, the idea of being forced to do something independently. What Reed did for me was instill a love of lifetime learning. I read novels all the time. I write. I do a lot of writing. I'm an editor of a medical journal and enjoy writing. It's made a difference as far as a love of independent study and research. I like research. I don't like academics who have to go, who complain about, oh, they make me do research. Well, hell, that's the part of the deal. I've been a medical school teacher for 50 years, and I think I try to instill the conference philosophy in asking why are you going to do this test? What is it going to do? What's it going to help with the patient? The problem in medicine is there isn't a lot of evidence for a lot of the things we do. And I always say, this morning I was working in clinic and saw, a child with a cough, and a very disruptive cough, and the family couldn't sleep at night. And I have to tell every resident and every medical student, there are more things in medicine that we can't affect. We have to watch it. We have no cure for this. And so what you do is ask, what do you do in your country? We have mostly East Africans in our clinic. How do you deal with this? And you don't, and to try and not be arrogant and say, all right, we don't have evidence for this. And think about ethical things and question dogma and not be awed by authority. I haven't been popular by awed by authority. I'm not awed by authority. The only politician that has ever awed me, well, two. I got to see Winston Churchill when I was a resident in London for a year, and his wife was sick, and he came to the hospital. Where I was at. And Bill Bradley, because I was a white basketball player, and someone said, "Do you want to meet Bill Bradley during his presidential campaign?" No, I wouldn't know what to say. So Reed had a huge impression on me, much more than medical school, much more than anything. And I hope now we'll hear what other people's impressions are.